Have you ever stepped into your backyard at sunrise, coffee in hand, and imagined what it would feel like to live with real self-sufficiency? A life where part of your family's food security is not coming from a store shelf, but walking, scratching, and foraging right there in your own garden? Welcome back to Farmyard Care. Today, we are looking at a legendary barnyard matchup between two of the most respected heritage chicken breeds in homesteading. On one side, we have the majestic black Australorp, a proven champion of egg production and a remarkable breed with roots tracing back to the tough farming conditions of Australia. On the other side, we have the famous Rhode Island Red, a rugged, dependable pillar of American poultry history, known for strength, productivity, and hard-working farm value. Both of these breeds can give a homestead excellent tasting meat and a strong, reliable laying performance. But after years of working with farm animals and watching how different breeds behave in real backyard conditions, I can tell you this: beautiful feathers are only the beginning. Beneath the surface, these two chickens have important differences in body structure, temperament, feed efficiency, climate tolerance, and long-term usefulness. Those differences can shape not only your egg basket, but also your daily chores, your feed bill, and the overall success of your homestead flock. So today, we are going to break this comparison down clearly. We will look at their history, their laying ability, their meat value, their feed conversion, their toughness in different climates, and finally, a fascinating breeding secret that could help you build an even stronger backyard flock. By the end, you will have a much clearer idea of which bird truly fits your farm, your family, and your future. Let's get into it. Part 1. The Origins and Heritage, a tale of two continents. To really understand a chicken breed, you have to look beyond the feathers and go back to where it came from. The story of the Rhode Island Red begins in the mid-1840s, in the coastal farming communities of Rhode Island and Massachusetts. This was not a breed created for decoration or fancy poultry shows. It was shaped by practical, hard-working farmers who needed a tough bird that could survive the cold, unpredictable winters of New England and still keep producing. The foundation began when Sea Captain William Tripp crossed an imported Malay rooster with local utility hens. From there, breeders carefully added genetics from Java, Chinese Cochin, Light Brahma, and Brown Leghorn lines. Over time, those crosses produced the Rhode Island Red, a strong, dependable, dual-purpose chicken that became one of the most respected farm breeds in America. At the same time, on the other side of the world, Australian breeders were working toward their own ideal chicken. In the early 1900s, they imported the heavy English Black Orpington and focused on one clear goal: create a bird that could lay heavily under difficult conditions while reducing the tendency to go broody. By crossing the Orpington with Rhode Island Reds, White Leghorns, Minorcas, and Langshans, they developed the Australorp, a breed that would later become famous for record-breaking egg production. That is what makes these two breeds so interesting. They were born from different continents, different climates, and different farming needs. Yet both became true survivalists of the poultry world. So before choosing one for your own backyard, ask yourself what kind of environment your flock needs to handle every day. Part 2. The Look and Build, Architecture of a Champion. Now, let's look at body structure, because a chicken's build tells you a lot about how it performs on the farm. The black Australorp has a deep, broad body, which points to strong digestive capacity and enough internal room to support steady egg production. Its dark feathers are one of its most beautiful traits, often shining with a beetle green glow when the light hits them. Australorps also have white skin and slate black legs, placing them in the traditional English class of poultry. In terms of size, black Australorp roosters are large birds, often reaching around 8.5 to 10 pounds. The hens are also solid and productive, usually weighing about 6.5 to 8 pounds. This gives them the kind of frame you want in a dual-purpose bird: enough body mass for meat value, but still balanced for long-term laying. The Rhode Island Red looks very different, but it is just as impressive. It has a strong, rectangular frame covered in dense, dark mahogany feathers that give it a bold, farm-ready appearance. Its thick yellow legs and yellow skin are classic traits valued on many traditional American homesteads. Adult Rhode Island Red roosters usually weigh around 8.5 to 9 pounds and often a broad, powerful chest. Mature hens commonly hold steady around 6.5 to 7 pounds. Both breeds are built tough, but they give you two different styles: the glossy, emerald black elegance of the Australorp, or the warm, rugged, autumn red strength of the Rhode Island Red. Part 3. The egg-laying engines, breaking world records. Now we come to one of the most important questions for any homestead flock: egg production. For many families, eggs are the daily return on the feed, housing, and care they put into their chickens. If your main goal is maximum laying performance, The Australorp has a reputation that is written deep into poultry history. In the 1920s, an Australorp hen set an astonishing record by laying 364 eggs in 365 days, and that was done without modern artificial lighting or special stimulation. That tells you how powerful the laying genetics of this breed can be. On a well-managed homestead today, a good black Australorp hen can often produce more than 250 to 300 large, light to medium brown eggs per year. What I appreciate most about Australorps is not just the number of eggs, but their ability to keep a steady rhythm over several seasons. That matters because a hen that lays reliably for years can reduce how often you need to replace birds, which saves money, time, and effort in the long run. But the Rhode Island Red should never be underestimated. This American pioneer breed can still compete strongly with many of the best practical laying lines available today. A good Rhode Island Red hen commonly produces between 200 and 300 large brown eggs per year. The real strength of the Rhode Island Red is consistency. While many commercial laying birds burn out quickly after their first major laying cycle, these heritage birds can keep producing with good energy for 3 to 4 years. For a family trying to build a steady source of homegrown protein, that kind of reliability is extremely valuable. So the question becomes simple. Do you want the record-breaking egg engine of the Australorp, or the rugged, long-term dependability of the Rhode Island Red? Part 4. The meat value. The dual-purpose equation homesteading is not only about filling the breakfast plate with fresh eggs. If your goal is real food independence, you also have to think about meat value. That is where the second half of the dual-purpose equation comes in. The Australorp offers a very different kind of meat compared with fast-growing commercial broilers. It does not rush to the table in just a few weeks. Instead, it usually needs around 16 to 24 weeks to reach a good processing window. But that extra time develops meat with more density, firmer texture, and a deeper, more old-fashioned farm flavor. And because Australorps carry good body weight, they also provide a useful carcass after their best laying years are behind them. For a homestead kitchen, that kind of bird can still bring value through hearty stews, slow cooking, and rich, collagen-filled bone broth. The Rhode Island Red also holds its ground very well as a meat bird. It usually reaches a practical harvest window around 16 to 21 weeks and gives a solid amount of meat for a heritage breed. Because these birds are active, alert, and constantly moving while they forage, their meat develops a firm bite and a stronger flavor than birds raised in tight confinement. Processing surplus males at around 6 months can give you a dense, useful carcass that supports your family's food supply. In the end, both breeds turn feed, forage, and good management into dependable nutrition for the homestead. Part 5. Temperament and flock dynamics, the pet V's. The boss now, let's talk about personality, because when you raise chickens, you are not just managing egg numbers and body weight. You are working with living animals every single day. Their temperament affects your chores, your children, your flock balance, and even how enjoyable your homestead feels. The Australorp is widely respected for being calm, gentle, and adaptable. These birds are usually easy to handle, friendly around people, and patient enough for families with children. Many chicken keepers describe them as one of the most peaceful breeds in the backyard flock. If you want a bird that is steady, pleasant, and unlikely to stir up trouble, the Australorp is a very strong choice. But that gentle nature does come with one important caution. Because Australorps are so calm, they often settle into the middle or lower part of the pecking order. If you mix them with very aggressive or pushy breeds, they may get bullied away from feed, water, or preferred roosting spots. So if you choose Australorps, make sure the rest of your flock is balanced and not overly dominant. The Rhode Island Red brings a completely different energy. These birds are active, curious, bold, and often very confident in the flock. They like to move, explore, and take charge. Many hens can become friendly with their keepers, but they are rarely shy or passive. If there is a flock hierarchy to be established, a Rhode Island Red will often want a high position. And here is where experience matters. Rhode Island Red roosters can sometimes be territorial. Some are excellent protectors, but others may become too aggressive, especially around small children or visitors. Australorp roosters are often praised for being calmer and more manageable, though every rooster still needs respect and careful handling. So when you choose between these two breeds, temperament is not a small detail. Are you looking for a sweet, steady companion or a bold, energetic flock boss? Part 6, Foraging Ecology and Predator Defense, the survivalist. Now let's talk about the side of chicken keeping that directly affects your feed bill and your flock's survival. Foraging ability and predator awareness. On a real homestead, a good chicken should not only eat from a feeder, it should know how to work the land. The Rhode Island Red is an excellent forager. These birds are active, determined, and always looking for something useful in the soil, grass, and garden edges. They will search for seeds, tender greens, insects, and even small creatures like frogs or mice when the opportunity appears. That natural drive can help reduce your monthly feed cost, especially if they have access to safe pasture or a well-managed free-range area. At the same time, their constant scratching and movement can help cycle nutrients through the land and support a healthier farm environment. Rhode Island Reds are also quite alert. Their bold but watchful nature helps them react quickly when something feels wrong. They are not helpless birds waiting for trouble to arrive. They move with purpose, stay aware of their surroundings, and often handle ground-level threats better than calmer, less reactive breeds. The Australorp is also a very useful bird when it comes to foraging. It may be calmer in personality, but it can still hunt bugs with impressive focus. Grasshoppers, ticks, and other small pests can become part of its natural diet when the bird has room to roam. If Australorps are given access to healthy pasture, especially areas with legumes and good green growth, they can gather a meaningful part of their daily nutrition on their own. That kind of diet can also improve the richness and color of the egg yolks. One of the most interesting points about the Australorp is its dark, glossy plumage. From above, a mature black Australorp can resemble a crow, especially because of that solid black body and greenish shine. Since many hawks and eagles avoid crows due to their aggressive mobbing behavior, this may give Australorps a form of passive visual protection against aerial predators. It is not a replacement for good fencing, shelters, or proper supervision, but it is a fascinating example of how nature can give a bird an unexpected advantage. Part 7. Climate Hardiness. Conquering. The elements homesteading is not for the faint of heart, and your chickens need to handle the same rough conditions your farm faces every season. When it comes to cold weather, the Australorp is an excellent performer. Its dense, dark feathering works like a natural thermal layer, helping the bird stay comfortable and continue laying even when temperatures fall close to freezing. But there is one important weakness to remember. In strong summer heat, that same solid black plumage can absorb a lot of sunlight, which makes Australorps more vulnerable to heat stress. If you raise them in a hot climate, they need constant access to deep shade, fresh cool water, and good airflow through the coop. With the right setup, they can do well, but heat management is not something you can ignore. The Rhode Island Red, on the other hand, is one of the most balanced and weather-tough breeds you can keep. Thanks to its tighter, harder feathering inherited from Malay ancestry, it handles heat with impressive efficiency and can stay active in sunny pasture conditions. At the same time, it also performs well in harsh winter weather, tolerating cold temperatures that can drop down around 10 degrees Fahrenheit. The main thing to watch with Rhode Island Reds in northern climates is their prominent single comb. That comb can be prone to frostbite if the coop is damp, poorly ventilated, or exposed to bitter wind. But with dry bedding, proper ventilation, and basic winter protection, Rhode Island Reds are true all-terrain birds in the poultry world. Part 8. The ultimate secret, the Austro-Red hybrid. Now that we have looked at the strengths of both breeds, here is where things get really interesting. What if you did not have to choose only one? What if you could combine the strongest qualities of the Rhode Island Red and the black Australorp right in your own backyard? One of the most powerful homestead crosses is created by breeding a Rhode Island Red rooster with a black Australorp hen. This produces a first-generation hybrid often called the Austro-Red, or black sex-link. For many practical poultry keepers, this cross is one of the most useful combinations you can raise. The reason it works so well comes down to heterosis, also known as hybrid vigor. In simple terms, the first-generation offspring can show stronger performance than either parent in certain areas. You can get a bird with a strong, impressive body, a glossy beetle green sheen, and beautiful mahogany coloring around the neck. Unlike feather-legged breeds, these birds usually have clean, solid, dark legs, which helps reduce mud buildup and makes parasite management easier. And then we come to the eggs. Austro-Red hens are often early and productive layers, commonly beginning around 6 months of age. With good care, they can produce around 280 large, light red or brown-tinted eggs per year, which makes them extremely valuable for a family flock focused on steady food production. There is another major advantage to this cross: sex-linked color. Because the Rhode Island Red male carries the gold gene and the black Australorp female carries the silver or black genetics, the chicks can often be identified by sex on the first day based on down color. For a homesteader, that is a huge management advantage because you can plan your flock much earlier. This hybrid brings together the strong egg-laying engine of the Australorp and the rugged, survival-focused body of the Rhode Island Red. But remember the golden rule: this magic is strongest in the F1 generation. If you breed the hybrids together into an F2 generation, the traits separate unpredictably, and you lose that clean, reliable result. Keep your parent lines pure, repeat the cross when needed, and you can build a powerful system for long-term backyard food independence. Conclusion: your flock, your future. So after comparing these two heritage powerhouses, we do not end with one clear loser. Instead, we end with two excellent paths and one very exciting hybrid option, depending on what your homestead really needs. If your priority is maximum premium eggs, gentle handling, a calmer flock, and a bird that works well around children or smaller spaces, the Black Australorp is a smart and dependable choice. It gives you a peaceful personality, strong laying ability, and steady protein production over time. If your setup needs a rugged, alert, highly active bird that can forage hard, handle a wide range of weather, and help lower your feed bill in a free-range system, the Rhode Island Red is a serious investment. It is bold, productive, tough, and built for practical farm life. And if you want to push your backyard flock even further, crossing a Rhode Island Red rooster with Black Australorp hens to create Austra-Red hybrids can give you a powerful combination of egg production, hardiness, and early flock management advantages. The right choice depends on your land, your climate, your family, and the way you want to raise your birds. Are you more suited for the calm reliability of the Australorp, the rugged confidence of the Rhode Island Red, or the hybrid strength of the Austra-Red? Share your choice in the comments, because every homestead has a different story, and your experience may help another farmer make the right decision. If this comparison helped you understand your flock better, support Farmyard Care by subscribing, liking the video, and sharing it with someone who is building a stronger backyard or small farm. Your support helps keep practical, real-world poultry and homestead knowledge coming. Thank you for spending your time here today. Remember, every seed you plant and every chick you raise is one more step toward a stronger, more resilient future. Until next time, happy homesteading.